Hey everyone, it's Erin Fletta here, and I am here to talk about something that I think is going on in a lot of the planner community, and that is having struggles planning in a pandemic. So I've kind of talked about this a little bit with like productivity and working from home and things like that, but I don't know about all of you, but I have been having the hardest time during this pandemic, partly out of weird like in and out of stressful moments. Like it's 1 week of absolute chaos and then the next week is like nothing. And this is going on at my work, this is going on with my business, and honestly they're all lining up exactly the same. It's not like hectic week at work, hectic week business, hectic week work. It's just all the time is either hectic or absolutely nothing at all. So I just wanted to talk about some of the things that I'm struggling with in terms of bullet journaling and kind of talk about some tips that I've been trying to implement to, I don't know, deal with that whole situation. This whole situation is absolutely nuts, absolutely unprecedented, and it's, I'm sure for a lot of you, it is also causing a lot of struggle in terms of your planning system. So for me, I have a lot of spreads that are just like half complete. It would be a fair assessment, or I've been trying to do this a little bit more where I'm doing a bunch of tasks and then crossing them off and adding them right away. But typically that's not how I would normally use my bullet journal. I would either make a list at the start of the day and work from that list and then only add here and there at the end of the day as I saw fit, or I would just have a recap of my entire day and try to make a list from there. Typically I really like to do the former, because if I do the latter, then it makes it a lot more difficult for me. But in terms of this pandemic, I am at home on my desk all day, every day. I part of the reason I am in a new little scenery here is because I am a little bit tired of my office. Plus it is an absolute travesty of a mess right now because I just did all of my patron stickers. So everything is everywhere. There's no rhyme or reason to how anything is organized in that room. So I just thought it would be better to go to a clean corner in my house and do it this way. So in terms of the struggles, because of this YouTube channel and because of my planner account, I have been setting up every single week. But I'm sure there are a lot of you out there that's not the case. You don't do a bullet journal for the world to see. You do it for yourself and for your productivity. And I totally, I kind of wish that was my world, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes I have to do things just because it creates content, because I have to feed the content lords that are up there. Every day and every week is absolutely set up. However, once I get into my day, there's things that I just don't feel like filling out, even though this is right by me every single day on my desk. I just don't feel like filling it out. And I'm sure that people get through these planner ruts. I have a video from eons ago when I was in a planner rut, and I talked about it, and I just kind of wanted to, I don't know, vocalize again now that I have a little bit more followers on here and all that kind of stuff, that 100% it is okay. We all get in these ruts, and because of this situation, there's a lot of stress at play. There's a lot of new things happening, and there's a lot of uncertainty. Planning for June, I know that my position, I do not have to go back into the office in the month of June. It's just not gonna happen. I work in New York City. It's not happening. But do I know that for July? Not yet. Will I know that for July 2 weeks ahead of time when I post my July Play With Me? Probably not. Will I know that for August if I end up staying home in July? Probably not. So there's a lot of anxiety around the uncertainty and not wanting to progress too far ahead, because you kind of have to take this situation day by day, especially when you don't know when things are opening or closing. We went to go get food the other day, and it turns out one of the workers had the coronavirus, and so that location shut down for an unknown amount of time. So that's stuff that, like, sometimes I add those types of things into my planner. If I need to go to the grocery store, if I'm picking up dinner or something like that, I'll put that in my bullet journal. But it's very uncertain right now. Like, I don't know what places are open all the time. I don't know what's going on. Where I am living currently, it's not as bad as New York City, but people are being very cautious here, which totally understandable. I appreciate people being extraordinarily cautious because you don't want it to go into a tumbleweed situation. So with all that said, I've been rambling for probably about 5 minutes now about life and pandemic, which all of you know all of this. So I'm making this video partly for like beginners out there that may have started in January, that, like, you know, this whole situation just smacked us in the side of the face, and now you're like, well, what now? What do I do? Is this okay? Am I allowed to take a break? Am I allowed to have issues with my bullet journal? Is this the bullet journal system not working for me, or is this the pandemic getting to me? No one really knows. So I just want to put it out there to, like, have patience. If you just started bullet journaling in January and everything shut down in March and you're like, nothing is working anymore, this planner system doesn't work, hold off. Try to take a deep breath. See, maybe in a little bit normal circumstances, if that works for you. You can revisit it at some other point in time. You can keep trying until you've reached that certain point of time. You can try something different during this time. So that is what I want to touch on for a tip. This tip is to try something new. So planning in general, people can be creatures of habit, or they can do what I do and try experimenting a lot. So maybe if you're a creature of habit, try it the other way around. If being a creature of habit, but all of your habits have changed in your life because you're working from home, you have to do distance learning for your kids, you have to, I don't know, walk your dog 4 times a day like I do because she's so cute, but she's so needy. So maybe a lot of things are different for you. So maybe try switching things up and not doing what you are a creature of habit of, but switching things up and trying different layouts and trying something fun, funky. If you're a minimalist, maybe try art. If you're an artist, try minimalism. Just try switching things up. That's what I'm trying to do a lot. It's a little bit difficult for me because I keep having these incredibly stressful moments, and even though they're incredibly stressful and I need my bullet journal, that is typically when I ignore my bullet journal and just like try to go from memory, and that never seems to work for me, but it's a habit I keep getting into. Another tip I have is maybe scheduling some check-ins with your bullet journal. I've talked about this a few different times in a few different areas of my life. I like to do these like 20-minute timer sessions. Maybe like I'm reading for 20 minutes and then I'll stay productive the rest of the day. I talked about this in my work from home video where like you set 20 minutes to do whatever you want. Like go out for a walk, go outside, make sure you're standing, go read a book, something that isn't just looking at your screen. It's something else entirely in your life. So you can do that with bullet journaling too. Maybe do just schedule out 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening, 10 minutes in the afternoon, whatever feels like it's enough of a check-in for you, or maybe it's like a 20-minute check-in once a day, a 20-minute check-in twice a day, beginning and end, 10 minutes throughout the day. You know, just try scheduling those moments. So set an alarm on your phone, set a timer for 20 minutes, and just go at it. Just go, I need to write things down in my bullet journal. Maybe that's task oriented. Maybe it is filling out your monthly trackers. Maybe it is filling out your annual trackers, something that I am absolutely terrible at. Maybe it's just flipping around, making sure you're hitting each and every thing. Maybe it's thinking about goals and putting a list together, like a goals list, a quarantine goals list. So one of the things that I did early on in this situation is put together a COVID-19 cleaning list. So I spent, I don't know, 10 minutes or so setting up the spread and putting all my headers down, and then I just walked around the house gathering all sorts of ideas about things that I wanted to address. I don't know if I've addressed about 90% of those things. No, 90%. It's definitely less than that. Maybe 50-50. Maybe 50-50. But maybe just checking things out that way. I don't know if this is helpful. I don't know if this video is helpful at all. I just thought I would make it just to ramble a little bit, vent about my own planner struggles, and then give some tips and tricks for other people that I've been finding have been super helpful. So one of the things that has been super helpful for me is doing the live streams in the morning, because it is forcing me to set up a list in the morning. People ask me questions, people give me ideas of things that they want in my Etsy shop, or ideas for spreads that I can do, or books that I can read, or anything like that. So those live streams have been super helpful. If you have an Instagram, maybe go on Instagram Live, because people tune into those all the time and just be like, I'm trying to figure out what to do. I'm trying to come up with a to-do list. Help me out. Or, you know, just talk with people, because that's a super helpful thing in this situation also, is using your bullet journal to connect with other people, because right now we're not connecting physically. So maybe connecting emotionally with other people that are also having these struggles and also love the same kind of planner system that you do. Maybe that's super helpful. Okay, I've been talking for like a ton of time, and I don't really know what this video is about at this point. So I'm just gonna try to summarize my thoughts and opinions, and you can probably just skip all the rambling bits, and I'll link this timestamp in the video down below for my like general overview. But basically, one, it's okay to struggle with your planner. This is a crazy time. Two, if you're struggling with your planner, it's okay to show it, and it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to commiserate with others. That is half of what this video is about, me just commiserating with all of you. That's it's very frustrating to fill this out right now. I love my bullet journal. It helps me stay productive, but these crazy weeks on and weeks off of like absolute like insanity has just really thrown me for a loop on how to plan. The live streams have helped a ton, doing those and setting up for my day, and then having to recap the next day because I'm doing another live stream. Those have been super helpful. I mean, this doesn't get touched usually on the weekend. I just kind of, things I see that I need to do, that's what I do, and I don't even go back in my bullet journal half the time. So I just really wanted to say that, especially for the beginners. 3, if you feel like your planner system isn't working right now, try changing it up. Try changing it up. Maybe bullet journaling doesn't work during this pandemic. Maybe sticky notes work. You just kind of got to do what you got to do. I've resulted to going to a lot of sticky notes recently, and there's just sticky notes everywhere, all around my desk. I really need to address some of those things. Oh man. But anyways, so that is number 3. Number 4, there is a groundhog sitting right near Malia's doghouse, and she's not happy. Number 4 is if you are doing minimalism, try doing some art. If you're doing art, try doing some minimalism. If you do the same type of weekly every week, try something different. Just try changing things up. Creatures of habit, when there's not a lot of stuff you can control in this situation, maybe you can control something differently, and that is your weekly setup and trying new things. I think that could be super helpful. And not only that, you could find something that you really, really enjoy and that will work for you later on. And maybe you incorporate that into your everyday weekly. So maybe that is something that will work for you. Maybe if you are used to doing dailies, maybe try doing weeklies. So there's a lot of things that you can do just to change it up just slightly and play with your planner. Think about it as a fun activity instead of, this is a list of things that I have to do. That is often why I do art in my bullet journal, is because I don't want to think about the things that I have to do. I want to see it in a pretty page. So maybe just trying to switch things up and act like it's an activity. Maybe adding a coloring in page next to your weekly. Maybe that is something you can do. And so when you're working on your lists over on this page, you color one of the colors in every single day. So there's a lot of different ways you can vary it up. And then my fifth tip is to schedule time. Again, this is something I've mentioned quite often, but scheduling out your time can be super helpful, doing these like little time blocks. And so the way I do it is I set an alarm on my phone, set a timer for 10 minutes, and then I say, okay, I have 10 minutes to do blah, blah, and blah. Sometimes I do that with cleaning, because if I think about cleaning all day, the cleaning never even gets started. But if I think about, oh, I have 20 minutes, these are the 3 things that I want to get done in these 20 minutes. I want to vacuum, I want to sweep, I want to straighten up the couch covers. Maybe those are the 3 things that I want to get done. And sometimes then I feel like I'm on a roll and then I can keep going. So maybe scheduling out some time in your bullet journal, just to check in, just to feel at one with your planner. That might be very nice. And then the last thing is connecting with others in the community. So this can be done on Instagram, it can be done on Facebook. I've seen a lot more activity in like my Facebook Patreon group of people sharing spreads and getting really excited about orders and blah, blah, blah. So just trying to touch base with people. Maybe this can be done in the chats of my live streams. Maybe you can go on Instagram Live and start just chatting with people who may be having similar issues with, with trying to bullet journal at this point in time. So those are a few ideas. I don't know if any of this video is helpful. Honestly, I'm just filming it and hopefully someone might get some ideas out of it. Or maybe this is just a cathartic experience for me to rant about how frustrated I am with my bullet journal right now. Even though I love it, I know this system works for me, but it is very frustrating right now. And I think that just stems from a lot of outside sources and not feeling like I can control anything in my life right now. So anyways, I hope this video is interesting at the very least. Maybe you guys find it hilarious that I'm just laughing at myself a whole ton because nothing seems to work. But I hope you guys like this video. If you do, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, all that kind of jazz, and I will see you on Friday. I am doing a 10 types video. Super excited about it, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.